Lucy made a startling discovery while meditating. She found herself enveloped by countless hands. With her eyes closed, she struggled to breathe as her limbs were tightly grasped. Overcome by fear, Lucy opened her eyes only to find a tiny ant, not the hands she had imagined. She gently brushed off the ant, thinking nothing of it. But as she turned around, she was shocked to see countless ants on the floor, eerily carrying something. Curiosity got the better of her, and Lucy followed the ants, only to discover a strange hole in the wall of her new house. The ants were frantically crawling into the hole. Lucy carefully peered inside but found nothing. She absent-mindedly started scratching her head, unaware of her unusual behavior, thinking it was just a simple itch. Little did she know, from that moment on, the eerie itching would become more and more frequent, not only at work, but even while sleeping. Unable to bear it any longer, Lucy resorted to scratching her scalp with a blunt knife, drawing blood but unable to stop, as if possessed by a demon. One day, while searching for her mother's keepsakes in the storage room, Lucy heard eerie footsteps behind her. As she looked down the hallway, the lights suddenly turned on automatically, but no one was there. Only the sound of a woman's soft crying could be heard. How could there be someone else in her own storage room? Lucy walked over, puzzled, and crouched down, asking if anyone was there. The crying stopped abruptly, and still, no one was there. Only ants crawled eerily on the floor. Lucy stared at the ants' tracks, perplexed, when suddenly a black figure appeared in the mirror, grabbing her from behind. Fortunately, it was just the warehouse manager. Lucy suddenly remembered the hole she had discovered earlier and rushed home to seal it. However, the itching persisted. Exhausted, Lucy finally fell asleep, only to have an ant crawl into her nostril, causing her to cough uncontrollably. Lucy felt like she was suffocating to death when suddenly countless ants crawled out of her body, as if she had become a puppet controlled by the ants. When she woke up, it turned out to be another terrifying nightmare. The series of events forced Lucy to take things seriously. She sought help from online friends but was met with ridicule. Feeling helpless, Lucy turned around and noticed her mother's photo album on the floor. As she picked it up, she made a surprising discovery. Her mother's arms were covered in numerous red spots. Lucy quickly grabbed a magnifying glass to take a closer look and found that they were all scratches made by her mother's own hands. Could this be something her mother had passed down to her? To find answers, Lucy had no choice but to seek out her father, who was a monk. Upon finding him, her father simply kept drinking tea without saying a word. However, Lucy noticed an eerie painting hanging on the wall, and her father also subconsciously scratched his itches. Not only did Lucy not get a clear answer, but she also became even more puzzled by the whole situation. Work had to go on, but a few minutes into the shoot, Lucy thought she saw a black figure on the wall behind her. In an instant, the lights began to flicker, and the black shadow covered the wall. Lucy was completely lost and confused. She uncontrollably scratched her head. To prevent herself from scratching, Lucy cuffed her hands together. But shortly after lying down, she discovered that the handcuffs restraining her had suddenly been unlocked. A black hand slowly appeared, dragging Lucy's weak wrist to scratch the itch. Suddenly, Lucy froze in shock as a terrifying monster appeared before her eyes. For more exciting content, please search name.